Today's San Francisco 49ers report right here on Chat Sports. I'm your host, Jay Senior, is presented by Manscaped. Nick Bosa, 14.5 sacks this year. He's a sack away from setting a new career high. If you want to clean up your sack with the best men's grooming products, 7 million men worldwide trust Manscaped. You can as well, and you should. And a free discount code at manscaped.com/49ers allows you to get 20% off and free shipping site-wide. We'll tell you more about Manscaped coming up here in just a few moments. So yes, we will be live on Thursday Night Football for a watch party. Our pregame show is going to get kicked off very, very early. The kickoff for this matchup set for 8:15 p.m. Eastern, 5:15 p.m. Pacific, exclusively on Amazon Prime Video. San Francisco with an opportunity to win the NFC West outright with the victory on the road in a place that's very difficult to play. Odds makers do like the Niners in this game. 3.5-point favorites with the over-under set at 43.5. And this is a Seattle team. It's time to reverse the curse. It's time to work off the momentum of the Niners beating Seattle back in week 2 by a wide margin after that Trey Lance injury. If you remember, Jimmy Garoppolo stepped in, and the only time that the Seahawks scored a touchdown was on a blocked field goal. So this is a team in the Niners that should be able to come through with the win, and it's a Seattle team that's really been struggling. Over the last 4 games, they have looked like frauds over the last month. It started in Week 10 with this concerning trend, losing to the Bucs 24-21. They lose to the Raiders 40-35. They did beat the Rams, but who hasn't beat up on the Rams this year outside of those hapless Raiders? And then Week 14 last week, a bad loss, fighting for playoff positioning against the Carolina Panthers by a final score of 30-24. And with the loss, Seattle drops out of the NFC playoff picture. This is how things would shake out if the season were to end today. After the Eagles just trounced the New York Giants, they still have a 2-game lead with 4 games left for that number 1 seed in the NFC over the Minnesota Vikings, but Philadelphia will play Dallas in 2 weeks. The 49ers, 9-4. There is a realistic scenario in which they could overtake the Vikings for that 2 seed. The Bucs, even with the loss to the Niners on Sunday, they're not a good football team, but that division is even worse. They're that 4 seed. Cowboys in 5th at 10-3. Washington Giants rounding out the playoff hunt at 7-5-1. And the goal for the Niners, very simple on Thursday. Win in Seattle, and you win the NFC West. And during our watch party to the biggest super chatter, we're going to give out this signed football. Historically, the 49ers have been an awful team against Seattle. And just as much as Kyle Shanahan has been Sean McVay's daddy, Pete Carroll has been Kyle Shanahan's daddy. But you win in Seattle, and the 49ers win the NFC West. The goal is simple: complete the mission, lock up that spot to get into the playoffs, and we'll celebrate a divisional championship during our watch party on Thursday night. We're only getting started for our preview. First, I want to see where your alliances are. Who do you think wins this game? You think the Niners win the NFC West? Type SF. You think Seattle pulls off the upset? Type SEA. And make sure you subscribe and turn on your notifications to join our watch party on Thursday. We're going to be giving away that football. It's going to be Trace's birthday. It's going to be an epic matchup, and if they win, the party is going to be popping after the game, and when you turn on your noties, you'll be notified when we do go live. A lot of big major injury news to get to for the 49ers. Brock Purdy is day-to-day with that oblique and rib injury. Let's hope that he can play, because having to play Josh Johnson to win the NFC West, not ideal. Kyle Shanahan saying on Tuesday that Deebo Samuel should be back in 3 weeks, so he's out for this game officially with the respective ankle and knee injuries. Kevin Gibbons going to be out because of that MCL sprain. Samuel Womack out with the concussion. Kerry Hyder day today because of an ankle injury, and Ambry Thomas limited this week on a short week, which is difficult to come back with these injuries with that ankle ailment. And that is a lot of injuries for this 49ers team after playing a couple of physical games against Miami and Tampa Bay. The 49ers can survive all of those injuries on Thursday and still beat the Seahawks, only if they still have one of those guys, Brock Purdy. They could survive without all those other players. They have to have Brock Purdy for me to be confident that they can win this football game. Because can Josh Johnson win in Seattle? He's been a career backup for a reason. He's had the most roster transactions among all players and has been with the most teams in the history of the NFL for a reason. A good backup. People really trust his football mind. But when it comes to executing, making throws, he's very, very limited. And this is going to be a big test for Brock Purdy if he is able to go. We know how raucous of an environment it is at Lumen Field. And the first 2 games, as perfect as anybody could have predicted or envisioned. But in Seattle, that is a different type of test against a Seahawks team that is desperate for a victory and a fan base that would like nothing more than to hand the Niners an L and keep this divisional race ongoing. The 49ers will have an opportunity to exploit that Seahawks defense. You look at their defensive rankings, once again, Seattle not a good defensive unit. Points per game, they rank 30th, surrendering almost 26 points per outing. Yards per game, 28th. Rushing yards per game, 31st. Yards per rush, 28th. But they are decent against the pass. 18th in passing yards per game, 12th in sacks with 34, so they generated a lot of pressure. The key to this game for the 49ers is attacking the Seahawks' weakness here. Attack that Seahawks' weakness, beat that Seahawk head, and make sure you exploit what has been a bad rushing defense for Seattle. We knew that the 49ers were going to be able to exploit the Bucs in areas defensively. They can do that against the Seahawks as well. They stink against the run. That is Kyle Shanahan's specialty. And to take pressure off of Brock Purdy to allow him to make throws downfield off the play action, run the football, don't be stubborn, make the Seahawks stop it, and until they do, keep running that rock, and hopefully we see more of Jordan Mason. If you hate the Seattle Seahawks, which it basically should be everybody out there, then type F Seattle in the comment section, because my gosh, that distaste is certainly real. 'Tis the season for clean balls. Fa la 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 la. Our presenting sponsor today is Manscaped. You get 20% off and free shipping by heading to manscaped.com/49ers. Our friends at Manscaped helping you clear your driveway down below the belt for safe travels this holiday season. From stocking stuffers to white elephants, Manscaped's products are at the top of every wish list out there. You can grab some crop mops for your pops or the body buffer for the holiday lover. Win this year's white elephant gift and help all of the men in your life from eggnog to nice hog this December by heading to manscaped.com and using the promo code 49ers. It's a free promo code for 20% off and free shipping. Manscaped, the one-stop shop for all of your holiday needs. Join the 7 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped and the Lawnmower 4.0. It is fantastic. Battery life that lasts forever. A light so that you can see where you're going. Get hooked up today with the Platinum Package, which includes the Lawnmower 4.0 and all of their great products. That link is in the comment section and the description of this video. Moving forward with our preview. Without Deebo Samuel, what to look for in this game against Seattle? Brandon Ayuk, I have confidence that he can step up, one of the cleanest and best route runners in the NFL. I think we'll see CMC, Christian McCaffrey, out wide more as a wide receiver. And how about George Kittle getting involved a little bit more in the passing game? And going back to Ayuk, he's really put together the best overall season of his career. And he's on pace for hopefully surpassing 1,000 receiving yards. Hopefully he gets on that track against the Seahawks on Thursday night. He's been targeted 86 times. He's caught the ball 58 times for 755 yards, a career-high 7 touchdowns. And this guy has become one of the best route technicians in the NFL. And he's been the #1 wide receiver on this team, and he'll continue to be without the services of Deebo. And Kyle, I'm talking to you right now, paging Kyle Shanahan, please run Jordan Mason a little bit more. As we just talked about, this Seahawks defense, one of the worst in the National Football League at stopping the run in every rushing category. You know who's really good? Who can break some tackles? Who can show Seahawks fans what Marshawn Lynch and watching him was like back in the day amongst the 12s? Jordan Mason, who runs like that. So give him a taste of that and run Jordan Mason a little bit more and keep Christian McCaffrey on the outside to help absorb that blow of being without Deebo. The 49ers are the far superior team. We saw that back in week 2 in a dominant San Francisco win. There's no excuse to lose this football game. You can't be sloppy. You can't turn the rock over. 49ers should win it against a team that is really free-falling right now and gasping for air. And the Niners defense, they can win this game by itself. The Seahawks offense been a pretty solid story this year. Geno Smith is earning himself the bag after it looked like he was going to be exiled out of the league. But the 49ers defense, with their pass rush, with the best linebacking core in the NFL, with the secondary that, even though it's banged up, has still been playing good football, can win this game. And it really all starts and ends with the best pure pass rusher in the NFL in Bosa. He likes playing in Seattle. He could wreak havoc against this Seahawks offense. Last year, 15.5 sacks with one more sack. He overtakes his previous record. Quarterback hits more this year as compared to last. 15 tackles for loss this year, 21 last year. And he is putting together an all-pro Defensive Player of the Year caliber type of season. And the Seahawks running backs are also banged up. So with Nick Bosa getting after Geno Smith, I want to see Geno Smith beat this Niners defense consistently. If Tom Brady and Tua Tagovailoa and some of these other quarterbacks have looked as lost against this Niners defense as they have, Geno Smith can fall into that trap as well. He has been playing good football this year. Completion percentage, atop the league, 71.5%. He's thrown for more than 3,400 yards. He has been better and a much better quarterback than Russell Wilson. Nobody thought that was going to be true. 25 touchdowns and 8 picks. But against the 49ers in week 2, you saw him kind of get exposed, and I want to see this Niners team expose him once again. You know who another player who could show up big, who also likes playing in Seattle alongside Nick Bosa? It's Dre Greenlaw. We have to do our due diligence because he has been playing all-pro football. And outside of Fred Warner, he's been one of the best linebackers in the NFL. Guy comes from Arkansas, just like producer Trizzy, and the contract that the Niners signed him to prior to the year, it's ended up being a massive bargain. 103 tackles, 3 tackles for loss, 4 pass breakups, 1 interception. You know how the Seahawks defense was nicknamed the Legion of Boom? Well, Dre Greenlaw has brought the boom to this Niners team, and I expect him to once again have a big game against the Seahawks on Thursday in primetime. And the 49ers, they're going to be looking icy clean, all whites, rocking those 94 throwbacks just like Nick Bosa was here a couple of years ago in Seattle. And hopefully he keeps that energy, shushing that Seahawks crowd as the Niners get on their way to winning the NFC West. So before we hop on out of here, predict the score. San Francisco going up north, Pacific Northwest, to face the Seattle Seahawks. I think the 49ers win this game by a touchdown, 27-20. And if you want to celebrate, the Niners just torrid pace right now, having won 6 games in a row with a San Francisco shirt to get you geared up for the playoffs. It's chatsports.com/SF. Get your merchandise right now. That link, chatsports.com/SF.